Cancer.
Hello Cancer, this is your forecast for April 2014, and we get a powerhouse of planets this month. And I know so many of you have been waiting for, looking for that key that can create change and so forth, and you've been doing so well balancing for a long time now those very issues that only you know about, right? And so we're definitely going to be seeing that some of that will be put to the test and put to the challenge here this month. And we have a big career month for you, so let me start off and explain a little bit about it. You have the sun in this area, so for you, you will just see that this month things can come up and forward, and even something that might be presented to you a little unexpectedly here, and this is at the very top of the month. Pay attention to what's taking place there around the 2nd when the sun and Uranus join up here. So that could be a new opportunity. It might just be a challenge presented to you. And I think this challenge in many ways could be or represent a good one, but you might just have to face a little stand-up issue, meaning standing up for yourself, standing up for what you know is worth for you, okay? Because some of this is going to be playing out throughout the month, and you'll just see how some of this is going to come together, maybe in some ways that you hadn't really anticipated, because what is exciting and new is also going to challenge a little bit about where you're at with yourself and your own expansion. Okay, Jupiter's moving forward now, which I'm really happy for you. It is your first house, and this is how you're wanting now to go out and embrace the world with optimism, okay? And it's really reconnecting you with your dreams of last year, you know, when you started off so well until everything slowed down a little bit and kind of dried up, fizzled out. But it's like up and going again. And so this is you now wanting to expand and create a new life for yourself with those feelings of abundance, that this is something you not just can do, but something that you also deserve, you know, and you have the universe with you on this, okay? So know that. But it's also going to be asking you here on the 3rd, where it's going to be squaring up, you know, this situation from work, which may be good for you, but it might be challenging for your partner. Or maybe it can work the other way around, that your partner might suddenly have something going on in his or her career, and that might just open up a challenge here between the two of you that way. So it can work both ways, okay? Because we're in this opposition, so both energies are involved in being triggered here from the career house. But I do feel it has to do with you, just because also you're going to be having the new moon in your sign of creativity this month. And so that will open up the doors for you to feel more, that you can engage into all those fun things that you like to do, and expand perhaps areas of not just career, but maybe something that you'd like to start off on yourself, like a project. And in that case, any of you starting a new project, great time to do so here at the very end of the month. When the new moon comes in, it's not going to be before April 29th. And what is really beautiful about this is the area we put down our intentions, right, with the new moon. In the area of creativity, self-expression, projects, and then Saturn is right there to give it an anchor. So, and you won't have this for another year, and even though you come back next year having the new moon in this area, Saturn's going to be gone. Saturn won't be able to anchor it in like it can do for you right here this month, this year. Okay, so pay attention. Very end of April. And even if you're not ready, if you've got plans to start something but you're not ready to launch, you can still utilize, you know, and harness the energy from this new moon on the 29th to put in your intentions of what it is you want to start and embark upon a little later. Because this energy is going to follow you not just for the first full month, which is where it's most powerful, but it's going to launch you until April of 2015. Okay? Then we have here this little challenge of the Sun and Pluto on the 3rd, like I said. On the 5th, we have Venus, which is love. It also rules those things that we do love, the material gadgets that we have, what we accumulate, money and so forth too. But it's the romantic feelings of Venus right now, which is really going to be nice because it's moving out of the 8th house for you. It's been cruising there all last month here of March in a very deep house, the Scorpion house. So a lot of intimacy and sensuality, and also focus on money. In that case, not as much as your own money, as much as your partner's money, or what you have in joint ventures, could be investment bankers and whatnot. Well, it's moving out of that area now into the 9th house, to the sign of Pisces. And see, Venus is very, very romantic in itself. And then it just triples up even more so when Venus comes into Pisces, because Pisces is all about spirit, right? It's about creativity. It's about those higher, more refined influences and frequencies of Pisces. So you're going to love this, and especially when Venus now conjuncts with Neptune, which is in this area on the 12th. Well, that just might be extremely nice to go out on a date, or have a date with your spouse on that day, or even, since it's the 9th house, to take a trip, a journey, a vacation, or even start up on a class that might have to do with these very things upon which it represents, which are something within the arts. Okay, maybe you want to sign up for an art class, sculpting, painting. Maybe it could be dance, or maybe music. You know, music is ruled here by Neptune. And so, a great day to start anything new that has to do with these vibrations. That's April 12th. Now we're going to have to power up and position ourselves, because like I said, it's going to be a very intense month, which is from the 20th onwards, okay? Especially between the 20th and the 23rd. Mark these dates on your calendar. You want to lay low on these days. Try to not react, but to power up, because you'll know pretty much what it is before it hits in, you know, with the exact aspects. So the week prior, there's going to be signals. It's like things are percolating, bubbling, coming up to the surface. And yes, you're going to be feeling this, not just antsiness, you're going to be feeling this anticipation that something is now starting wanting to kind of crack open. So on the 14th and the 15th, even the 16th, Mercury, that's your mind, your thoughts, your communication, what you communicate, how you communicate, who you communicate with, is all going to be tested. 14th, 15th, 16th. On the 14th, Mercury is going to be challenged by Jupiter. Jupiter is going to say, do you really want this? And if you do, are you ready? Do you want to take the consequences of this or no? Right now you have the chance to go back to the old and settle in, just surrender, settle into the old. Or if you really want this that you've set up for yourself, are you ready to take on the challenge? Because if so, well then, change is coming in. See, on the 14th, Mercury is also going to conjunct Uranus. So this might feel like it's coming out of the blue. It's like, where's this conversation coming from? Because it may be coming to you. It may not be you yourself initiating it. So you might be taken by surprise, or you're going to be the one surprising, your partner, or whoever the situation will be for you. The Mercury Uranus will be in the area of career. The Mercury Jupiter will be squared between how you feel about yourself and also that of your career too, so you've got these choices. Do I want to do this? If not, because it will denote change. And then Mercury, communication and your thought processing, will be squared off on Pluto, and Pluto is your partner. So here we go, like I tried to kind of draw up for you a little bit earlier. It's you, it's career, it's your partner. Here we go. Something is not sitting too well, because Mercury also on the 16th is going to be opposite Mars. Mars has to do with your home, and Mars has been cruising in this area for a while, and it will continue to cruise there until out in June at some point. So it's the balance. It's like if you choose to go in a direction, yes, it's going to affect family, it's going to affect your partner, yourself and the way you work, or these changes can be coming to you from your partner, which is going to be like a domino effect here in these very 4 areas: self, partner, career, and home. And we've been talking about this, Cancer, earlier on, because some of these planets, they're long-term, they've been lingering for several months, so it's not a new thing. It's not like something out of the blue in a totally different direction. Very same process. You started last year, dried up, then it was challenged early on in the year, but here we go. And if you weren't ready then, well, I think you're more prepared and ready now, and I know I've spoken to a lot of you in private readings, working through all of these things. But let me tell you, though, that on the 18th, there is support where you might feel a little on shaky ground, the 14th, 15th, 16th. Venus is going to come in and support change. It's going to support Jupiter. That's where you are with yourself, how you're feeling about yourself and what it is you want now to go out and embrace as far as the new. Venus, which is once again love, Venus represents both love, romance, but also money and security, right? Will also come in and support Pluto. Pluto, which has to do with the final change of this long-term conflict you've been working on, will come in and support it. So I want you to know that when this starts up, tell yourself things are going to be fine. The universe is expanding exactly as it should. You know, and in order to get into new places, new areas of life, sometimes we got to go through that little phase of chaos. And this is where you're at right now. Tell yourself everything is going to be fine. This Venus is coming from the 9th house of higher perception, higher faith. So all you need to do is to have faith, trust, and belief that you're doing the whatever your choices are going to be, is coming from a place of love for the higher good of everybody involved. And for you, that means family. You know, 4th house, where you live, how you live, who you live with, partner, spouse, one-on-one people that you can work closely with, being fair to you, yourself, and where you're heading as far as your ambitions. So, you know, if you can really get a good grip, take some time to step back on the 18th, you will be prepared for what starts up on the 20th. On the 20th, the sun is first and foremost leaving Aries, going into the area of Taurus. So you will have the support of hope, dreams, wishes, but also friendships, those who you're close to. It's going to be in this area. And then here starts the planets. We have Jupiter squaring up on Uranus. We got Jupiter opposing Pluto. We got Uranus squaring off on Pluto. Mars squaring off on Jupiter. We got Mars opposing Uranus, and Pluto being squared by Mars. It's all these planets that can be very tricky all on themselves, you know, on their own. But here we have them all interacting, involved in very difficult, complicated energies. But you know what? That's the upside, is that we can free ourselves. Now is the time. You know, it's like, okay, so we've had contractions for a while, but here we come to the birthing of the new. And as females, we know no birth is easy, right? So we're birthing ourselves through now, where the bud is opening. We've had touches on this in the past, but this last week here, very intense, but it is what you've been asking for. So I know that you're prepared, you're hunkering down, you're trusting self, feeling good about every single thought, feeling, emotion that you've had now for these last 4 to 5 months. Especially, we can go back a half a year, we can go even further back, okay? But especially these last few months. And then I'm feeling here that this is exactly what you're needing to get into that new stage, which is going to bring, you know, our reading for May to be even more so significant and interesting, just to see where do we go from this. Because on a political level, you know, because it's not just you, it's not just your part, we're all going to be feeling these energies, and politically the whole world is going to be feeling that something needs to give, something needs to shift, you know. And if we don't come from a place of love, which Venus is going to negotiate and support there on the 18th, Politically, there might be some huge negotiations going on, trying to settle down, quiet down something that become very explosive. Something's going to have to give there in the aftermath. So these negotiations is what's going to carry you through. Make sure that you, at least on a private level, can take the high road here and trust that, yes, old structures sometimes do need to go, but it's only so that everybody involved, for their higher good, can come into this new level. And you Cancerians, you are so loving, you're so nurturing. Yes, you are strong and fierce, you always have been, but you have this ability to go out and breathe beautiful transformation. And that's what we're looking at, is just transformation right now. So, I wish you a beautiful month. Do know that both Mars and Saturn is still retrograde. Mars went retrograde March 1st, will be to May 20th. So it's not really giving us all that fierceness that we need, but it's still there. And then we have Saturn, which is karma. So it's time for karmic clearing right now. And that Saturn's going to be retrograde till July 20th. It went retrograde March 2nd. So it's interesting. It really stirs up those things. We can't really move into new dimensions of our life that we can have all the beautiful hopes, dreams, wishes, but to get there, we got to put in the work. We got to say that we're done with a certain chapter before we can jump into the next chapter. That's all this is. So it's not all that negative. But yes, we will feel it, and I know you will, but I will always be here if you should need me. And hey, go listen to your moon and rising sign. That will show the other areas of your life that will be affected. Your sun sign only shows these areas, which is career, home, family, and self. That's being affected for you right now. But the other areas, moon and rising sign, will show the other effects coming in, because that's also going to feel that little crunch, right? So hey, listen, always good to talk to you, Cancerians. I will see you next month. Bye now.
Do you follow Karen's daily scopes yet? If not, and wonder what they hold, click the sample link below and listen to both the Astro Scope and Tarot Scope, and get a feel for what you can expect in your love, career, and financial outlook for today.